Still, anybody who goes, well, the way I look at politics is this way. The really good people are the people that don't want to be in it. You know what I mean? The people that don't want to be in politics are really the ones that should be in politics. And the ones that really want to be in politics, a lot of times they're not the right ones because they're, they have different motivations, and that's why I think you have so many conservative minded people that don't get involved in politics because they think, oh, well, they're just building their business, they're taking care of their family, they're doing the things that really matter, and they don't want to be bothered with that. But then on the liberal side of the aisle, a lot of those guys, they have less kids, they're less entrepreneurial, so they don't. A lot of times they're more drawn to politics, and less belief in God, and just statistically speaking, there's a one side of the aisle that is more God focused, and one side of the aisle that's not.
And it's profound. I mean, it's
Huge.
not hard to see that.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Hard to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not running against a Democrat in the
Yes.
in the runoff.
Not in the runoff.
In the runoff. So you finish the runoff, and then
when I finish the runoff, there is a Democrat running for the JP for Precinct 1, Potter County.
Okay.
And I've met him twice, David Martinez. I mean, he's a teacher. He serves the community well, but he's younger, and I think most likely being on the Democrat side, there's going to be more of the liberal approach to things versus the conservative, especially when it comes to some of these issues like the disputes. I mean, when you're talking about property disputes, the law is the law, period. And
exactly.
And I will be faithful to the law. They provide intense training. We go through 80 hours of training. What I bring to the table, you can't learn in a book.
Mm-hmm.
You can't learn sensitivity, compassion, faith. When you walk into someone's home at 2:00 in the morning and their husband's had a heart attack and is laying in the bed deceased. Holy mackerel.
Wow.
I mean, no book's going to teach you what to do there.
Yeah.
So I bring real world experience through service and wisdom. The legal side, when it comes to setting bonds and issuing warrants and those type of things, then we go through 80 hours of training up front, and then we continually being trained each year through the same, what you call continuing education, I suppose.
Right.
So that when it comes to arraignments, I'll learn all that from that training.
Right.
But so the law is the law. We're going to be faithful to that. But I think the reason why Texas did not design it around having a legal degree is they wanted somebody that was within the community, of the community, by the community, that has sound judgment, common sense, and just having a fair sense of compassion, wisdom, and understanding. And so most people that come to those kind of courts are not criminal. I mean, they're the everyday people that are working hard, taking care of their families, but they end up in a minor dispute with a neighbor. Their child gets off track at school and they start missing school and they're struggling. I talked to a parent here not so long ago who is a teacher, and he said, Brian, I was so embarrassed because I'm a teacher and my son was skipping school and missing school, and it ended up being truant. And so these are real people with real futures. And so that's why I think Texas designed the JP the way they did.
Yeah.
Because it's not, you don't have to have a lawyer, and most people can't afford a lawyer on top of that, probably, right?
Right.
I mean,
it is not cheap to pay for lawyers.
You come to a JP court, and most of the people that's going to come to JP court are going to be the everyday people that's not going to have a criminal record. It's someone's passed away or something like that, and you're going to come in front of me or a speeding ticket. And so you're not going to have a lawyer.
Yeah.
So the JP really needs to have that way of the sense about themselves that they can sit and listen to both sides and make a good, sound judgment. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the legal matters, like I said, that's pretty easy because the law is set in place and we go by the law.
Yeah.
But where it gets hard is when the waters gets muddied, is when you have a situation where it's not so much about the legal aspects of the law, but just about the community aspect of service. And so I think that's where I'm going to shine brighter. This is what I'm going to bring to the court.